You are listening to
Marty and the Breaux.
I kind of wanted to get into a little bit of that discussion we had. We'd started one time about living in neighborhoods and how, like, for in your mind, the way the neighborhoods are sort of naturally segregated makes a lot of sense. And so and you've also said a couple things around neighborhoods and whites and blacks living together and stuff. Um,
Yeah, I've been thinking about
you
this
know,
for a
but
while.
just real quick, picking up on that on the video that we talked about at the beginning of the show about the unassuming neighbor. Part of that video, you were like, I would tell people from my community, do not move into a white neighborhood.
Hmm.
I would do not move into a white neighborhood. It's just not worth it or something. It's just not.
Yeah,
What was it?
they don't want us
What
there.
could,
They don't want white people don't want us in their neighborhoods, and we shouldn't even want to be in them. To be honest with you, we should let them. Like, so this is gonna get this being all right. So let's just be as objective and honest as possible, right? You know what I mean? There are
right.
differences in people, right? We just got differences, right? You know what I'm saying? And cultural, I
Sure.
mean, right? And white people and
Yeah.
black people, for example, my favorite one is golf clothes, right? You know what I'm saying? I find it offensive. I find it offensive to see white men in golf clothes, like those like short pink shorts and like, bro, it gives me hives. Like, I'm like, like I don't like it. I hate it. I literally, you know what I mean? Like, I find it offensive. Like, it treads on my personal liberties. I feel maybe I'm wrong, right? You know what I mean? I'm just like, I shouldn't have to see
It
that.
makes you angry.
I hate it.
It's
I hate it.
upsetting. It's upsetting,
It's terrible. It looks terrible. Everything about it, the symbology. I can go on all day about white people and their goddamn golf outfits, bro. I hate it. Right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
How that's a cultural difference than black people. Like, I love the way black people dress versus, right? You know what I mean? That's just a difference of culture. Just because of, now, it has nothing to do with race per se. It has to do with culture, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just It's just what it is, right? Those are differences that are real. You know what I'm saying? I think where it seems like we do nowadays that they didn't do like even in the 60s was pretend like these differences don't exist, right? You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with being different. You know what I mean? Like, we can be different together, if that makes sense. We can work together and still, it's like saying like, for me, I think of it like, we can all live in a community and I have my own separate house and family, right? You know what I mean? I don't have to share my literal house and wife with you, you know what I'm saying? For us to all be in a community. It doesn't, and I think of it the same way as like, if white people want to have like, and naturally, if you think about it, white people would marry more white people and their family would be white and the community up and around white people would be white. That makes the most sense. Just the same thing with black people. That's kind of, that makes the most sense. And it makes natural sense. You don't see penguins, and seals hanging out all the time, right? You know what I'm saying? That's because you're in your community, right? So a naturally predominantly white neighborhood and naturally predominantly black neighborhood, I think, would occur naturally, right?
It's an organic outcome
of just people living, of people just living.
Yeah.
So now complicate that a little bit.
So where do we go wrong?
Right. So, to complicate that is the city life, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we have decided, okay, we have this central hub area where this is where we conduct commerce and all, like this is where all these disparate groups come to be together, right? And in this area is where you find more of the meshing, right? The more of the blacks and whites getting together because you're out of that community element, you're over here and actually mingling with the whites and blacks mingling. So in a city element, you would see a natural more mixed predominantly area, right? Does that make sense? So
Sure,
and if you look at America, I think you can see that if you look at America and in rural areas, you'll see a full black community rule and say white communities and things like that. And in the city, you'll find a lot more mixed. Cities have a lot more mixed gender people, right? Mixed race.
There's
and stuff.
more opportunities for mixing, but we do an excellent job of when it comes to living, of keeping things segregated. Part of it's because of that organic factor, and then part of it's because of
I think we just focus on
factors.
We focus on the wrong thing as far as it goes. As we think about, okay, we should desegregate, and that's not actually what I think the real problem is, right? You know what I'm saying? It's lack of opportunity, right? You know what I mean? Because if, like I said, naturally, white people would be around more white people. The problem with my community isn't that, oh, no, saying they're not, look, we can't be with white people. That's why we're not doing good over here. That was never the issue in the black community. The issue is like, okay, look, We just
we
need,
move into a white neighborhood and we get a
and we can't.
guard bill thrown through our window.
Exactly. We, whatever community, we don't own the community we move into. I don't have the opportunity to even purchase anything in this community because of all the, the historical racism, the redlining, you know what I mean? So it's not like this is my community. This isn't my community either, right? You know what I'm saying? There are people with, like that have control of this community. I just live here, right? You know what I'm saying? So the police, so that's what, and that's what the black community is, right? The police come through and are policing these white people's property that we just happen to live in. You know what I mean? That's what happens, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's not like we have
the building owners of the apartments that you're living in.
Yeah.
The infrastructure you're surrounded by is all white.
It's all white, and that's where the problem comes in, right? It's the lack of the lack of actual community ownership by black people. Because if that was the case, right, you would just naturally see a black community, kind of like we would say Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the Black Wall Street when they were doing really successful in their own little side, right? Just black people chilling over there being black people. You know what I mean? I think if anybody look up Black Wall Street, it's a crazy true story. You know what I mean? And most people watch this probably know with the internet age now, right? But that's what.
And that was it was known as Black Wall Street.
Yeah, Black Wall Street. I think it was in Tulsa.
Tulsa Massacre. It was early 1900s or something. I forget the year, but
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but they burned like 13 city blocks worth of black businesses and black housing. And I mean, it was a community that was where everybody was black and doing well. And the whites would set the houses on fire and then shoot the occupants as they exited the burning houses. And hundreds of black citizens were killed during the Tulsa Massacre. And that was one of several massacres that almost of that scale that have taken place in U.S. history.
Yeah,
that a lot of people don't know a lot about.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like in here in Texas, Baytown, there was the same similar incident happened in Baytown area back in the day. Like, yeah, it's a lot of places that black people started to build up their own. White people were like, nah, fuck that, y'all can't have your own, and came and took it. You know what I mean? Like the land, everything, right? And that's where really the problem is. Like I said, we need to. And
you're saying white people can't handle it.
Yeah, exactly. Can't handle it at all. You know what I mean? Yo, you like what you just saw? Make sure you like, share, subscribe so the algorithms can algorithm or whatever sorcery they do. Follow us on our socials. Links all down in the description. And let's keep rocking.